Welcome back to Comic Book Wednesdays, a weekly series where we discuss comic books. We're your hosts. I'm Ian. And we're back this time with a pick from Alex. Alex, take it away. What we read? Wow. It's really fucking good so far. So, like, mm, I I really enjoyed it, and I've always been like attracted to the IDW Ninja Turtles art. Like if you see the other collections, like just the covers alone, I'm like, okay, these are cool. This is what I want. Um, and like I don't have a huge background knowledge of Ninja Turtles, so like I'll be honest, sometimes I still get them confused. Like I don't know who's who a lot of times. And then, um, I get the turtle that's we're following is Michelangelo, right? He was wearing a black mask, and it was confusing the hell out of me at first because I'm like, well, who is this? Because like it's fair. I think you're absolutely right. When now I'm thinking about it, that you're correct. They didn't want us to know. Hmm. And I think also like the what the writer did really good is that during the early parts where we're not supposed to know who it is, they do a really good job in masking the Ninja Turtles like personality. Like he's different, and like yes, it shows time and age, but I just thought it added to like just the mystery of it. Um, I mean, it makes sense, like why his personality is not exactly who he would be, but still, I liked it. I'm listening. I feel like, mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, were you surprised um, when they revealed the identity of the girl that saved him at the end of the first chapter? Is yeah. Mhm. So like me knowing bare minimum, I know who Casey Jones is. So I'm like, okay, like I saw the name Casey and I was like, that's done on purpose. Like you don't introduce a character in like the first couple panels of a book with a main character's name and it's just for like funsies. Like that was done on purpose. So I was kind of like maybe they're related and then when it happened I was like, ah, nice. Got that right. Yeah. Right. But yeah, it's written fantastically, which is I mean another reason I'm really excited to see this adapted into other media. Like we're getting a video game based on this book eventually. It's gonna be really good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Most likely. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to think like you we read two chapters of The Last Ronin and it's already one of my favorite comics. Just like I just really well done, well written, drawn beautifully, paced really well. I give a shit if about the villain. Just and again, this is coming from someone who like barely knows anything about Ninja Turtles. So I'm all in. Yeah, they absolutely are. And like maybe we can discuss this for a second. Do we think it's because they put an extra foot forward because they don't have like the major bankroll that something like a Marvel or DC would, or the like they have to work harder to get their readers. If they don't put a quality book out, they're not going to make their sales. Where like someone can put a Superman book out and it's going to sell because Superman is Superman, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like I'm someone asked me, I'm definitely putting one of those down on my list because they're not super expensive. Like they're not too bad, you know, for a complete like a whole story, you know. Oh, absolutely. And that's what fans need is that kind of growth, like it's rewarding to see that in the characters that we like read and grow up with. Um, it's kind of you can kind of say even you mentioned Transformers, but I feel like the Power Rangers comics do the same thing. The boom stuff, absolutely. Um, that's great because I mean, like, how many things were made for children and then out of nowhere, like, those kids grow up, So like, you got to keep us involved, you know. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna go to a topic real fast that might trigger you a bit, Al. This is something that Star Wars needs to recognize. It's something they have to recognize because the target audience isn't kids anymore. The target audience is the adults. No, it's definitely really cool. You're finding things that like was there during your childhood, but you didn't show as much love because you had this huge love for Star Wars, and now like getting a newfound appreciation for it. But that's it's because you're seeing creators who give a shit about you as a as some an audience, you know. Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and like, and I'm gonna defend Star Wars comics a little. Like there are some really good ones out there. Like I have a couple. Uh, mhm. No, and hopefully there is a young kid out there who's finding a love for Star Wars. Then you know what I mean? Like, if yeah, I feel you. But I mean, then go ahead, Shane. I'm sorry. Now I was transitioning, but you can continue with what you had a point. Sure. Yeah. And I found myself being like, he'll pull through, even though I know he wasn't. Um, and I also gotta say, I'm actually curious to see, like you said earlier, how they're all gonna die, but like, it feels like where at first I thought it was this like one night where they all got taken out. It feels like that's not the case. Like it seems like it's going to be spread a little bit. Um, mhm. Yeah. No, I can. Well, Leo did say like chill. Like there was the line. No, I'm looking through the. Yeah, because like I mean they were just hit hard because like it was they had the peace treaty and they were kind of basically as soon as they left their lair ambushed under the guise of a peace treaty. It's interesting and like I don't want to talk about it yet because we haven't read chapter 3 yet, but I started looking at stuff as I started um I'll say it on the air as I told you guys. I was so into reading this, I wasn't looking at my phone. So when you guys were like, "Let's dial it back just to the first two chapters," I was I was way through chapter 3, and I was like, "Wait, what?" It ended up working out because at that point it was like 8:45, and I was like, "Yeah, I could start getting ready for bed at this point." But well, let me ask you. So, talking about the scenes where like he's on the mountain, they talk about his genetics and like how they've like changed and mutated further, and he's now more resilient. Was that something that happened in other media, or is that something new for this book? Anybody? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about you calling things organics. Just 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 like any organic would. Al, blink once if you're not a robot. No, the correct term would be Roger Roger. Shit. Oh, it's already phenomenal, so I absolutely agree with you. Um, I thought we were doing one part next week, or no, two parts. Okay. That leads me to one other thing then. Since this is such a small book, Al, pick another book also. If you, oh, as long as you're okay with it, Shane, that Al just gets to have something else added on because this is really tiny, like compared to what we usually read. So, yeah, that was the woman that Ruff fought, right? The daughter of Shredder. Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'll have to give that a look. Was she always related to Shredder? Got you. That is interesting. Cartoon. Mid 2000s. Yeah, absolutely. It could just be like their interpretation of the character too on the cartoon. Take some creative liberties to try to like keep fans on their toes or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure there has to be some. Um, I wonder how close this Last Ronin kind of follows the other IDW books. Like, is it like a break in an alternative timeline type thing? Like, would we be able to read some of the other books and kind of get some insight into characters like this? It's curious. Oh, yeah, absolutely would be really neat. They'd definitely be worth looking into. Um, so, any other thoughts on this book, or how did, as you're doing that, how did you guys feel about the art in the flashback sections where like Raph is on the mountain and stuff? It, yeah, I like that too. It felt like scroll work, in my opinion. Like if someone was like kind of almost if they were like using calligraphy to draw. Ugh. Loki, what are you doing? Sorry, guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The, yeah, it goes back to what I was saying before. Like, you actually give a crap what happens with this villain because he's a bastard. Oh, we'll probably find out why. Like, yeah, it's like, what? Missing appendages? Right. It, I agree. It's such good storytelling, and it's telling the story without the use of words, and it's something that good comic book writers do well. Um, we know that something bad happened. We know that it was super dangerous for April. Like, she lost her limb. She probably almost got dead. You know, um, um, mhm. Yeah, me either. Fantastic. All right. No, I think I'm on the same page as you. I got nothing really bad to say about this book. Um, Looking forward to the rest. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, hopefully it just continues. All right then. Well, I think that's gonna be it for us. I hope y'all have a good night. Yeah, thank you.